Hola. This is Veronica once again. Uh, I'm Veronica Hamilton, the chief developer for the uh, Myth-based role-playing game. Um, Sorry, my brain just cut off there. For the Myth-based role-playing game Unwritten. Um, if you're new here, then, or if you're watching this on YouTube, this is where I take video games and walk through them, and then I discuss how we can use them to as inspiration for your own RPGs, and talk about other things. We would have been starting Revelation today, Mist for Revelation, but um, we had done sort of a palette cleanser between Riven and Exile. When I played No Man's Sky, and I really liked that idea. And so I'll be playing a different game today. Um, and then next week, hopefully next week, depending on how the schedule goes, we'll be starting on Revelation. Um, and here's my plug. If you like what we do here, go ahead and join our Patreon. The link is down there at the bottom of the screen. Also, you know, buy things from Cyan because we want them to continue. Um, and what other things? The next of the Strange Seeds walkthrough in Strange Seeds Unwritten RPG live streams. That's a lot to say at once. Will be on December 4th. Um, and I still hope to continue just doing the Tuesday walkthroughs as much as I can. We might have some other streams that we would be working on, but they'll probably be not so much regular, um, at, just sort of erratic as we come up with some ideas and have the time. We'll definitely notify everybody beforehand before we do that. Also, I'm working on getting the previous walkthrough videos up on YouTube so that you can see them there. Um, if I'm lucky, that'll happen this week. If not, hopefully next week. I just got to go through and do all the grunt work on that. Okie doke. So what are we playing today? Well, today we are going to be playing Portal. Of course, you probably already have heard about Portal. Um, I mean, in some respects, it's considered one of the best um, video games to come out of the gaming industry in the last 20 years. Um, it it surprised it was came out as a surprise as a part of something called the Orange Box, and really sort of took the imagination of a lot of gamers. It was produced by a small group of people at Valve, based off of something that they had started developing um, as part of if I remember correctly, a project for a game development uh, university, something like DigiPen or such, or may it actually be DigiPen. Anyways, so my idea here is not so much to look at the game as the puzzles and gameplay itself as an inspiration for role playing. Um, but to kind of look at the atmosphere and some of the meta aspects of it. Um, I think that Portal's a really incredibly good example of things like leading characters and players um, along a storyline, letting them learn things as they go, and making sure that um, players are educated step by step, um, as opposed to also a very good storyline. So, um, anybody who's in here so far, have you played Portal? I'm hoping you can hear me. By the way, I didn't really do a sound check. Okie doke. I have actually played Portal before. Um, it was quite a while ago, but I'm still generally relatively familiar with it. So, um, there won't be a huge amount of puzzling because I can remember the basics of most of the stuff. And I don't expect to get through it today. And if I don't get through it today, I'm not going to, put off Revelation. This is just sort of kind of, like I said, a palate cleanser. Do, 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 do. Okay. See how I'm checking my. Thank you, Chris, for letting me know you can hear me. That's good. I mean, I like hearing my own voice, which is why I do this, because it's all about me. So but thank you for letting me know that you can hear me as well. Rachel, yeah, you haven't played the game, but you've seen playthroughs of both. And hi, Junie. But I have not actually played Portal 2. I don't know much about it at all. I've heard maybe a couple memes. It's been on my list to get around to one of these days, and it's been on my list since it came out. So you can tell how often I get around to my list. But okie doke. I'll try not to talk over GLaDOS when she is talking. Actually, let's see here. Slides, highlight the background. Captions. Subtitles. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Okie doke. Okay. Here we go. Let me know how the sound levels are on the game itself. Okay. Some levels are good. Okay. We pick up things with E.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all Enrichment Center activities, serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from stand back. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
Okie doke. So one of the things I like about Portal is just like how well it telegraphs things that the players need to know. It doesn't tell you much about story, but the very first thing you see is a portal. And then when you approach the portal, the very first thing you see is that you can look through the portal and you can see yourself. Just like right away, the first thing is like oh, whoa, that's me. Well, check that out. And I think that that's really clever and really good because it gets the players right away into the idea that the portals can kind of do weird things, that you can see through the portals, and it gives you kind of a look at yourself right away. Of course, we have a default character here, which is this lady here. Her name is Shell. Never comes up in this game, but it is. There actually is a bit of a story behind who this person is and what happens to them outside of the game. But I'm not going to be going too much into that because it doesn't come up in this particular story. You also note that if you look at her legs, she's got the little weird things on her legs. That's apparently to explain why she can fall from such great heights without getting hurt, that she has some sort of assist. Now that we're being watched there. This environment is a great example of communicating a lot with just an environment. In an RPG, you do have the luxury of sort of explaining what you're trying to get across, and sometimes that's what you should do. Is just explain what you're trying to get across. But sometimes, you can definitely show versus tell.
Excellent. Please proceed into the chamber lock after completing each test. First, however, note the incandescent particle field across the exit. This aperture science material emancipation grill will vaporize any unauthorized equipment that passes through it. For instance, the aperture science weighted storage cube.
Funny thing I've seen in a lot of people on a lot of people's walkthroughs and reactions to this is how often people will stop and go, "Wait, does that mean me as well?" And they'll kind of pause here and be like, "Oh, should I go through it?" But yeah, of course it does. But it's very interesting. It's that sort of thing of that by calling attention to it, you make people think about it. And that's the whole mechanic in Fate behind aspects, is that an aspect is something you're calling attention, a detail in the environment you're calling attention to, and thus it's important. So there are rules for creating aspects, that players create aspects and characters create aspects, but I very often am of the opinion that if it becomes up and people keep referring to it, just make it an aspect, because it's important then. Here we go.
Please place the weighted storage cube on the 1500 megawatt Aperture Science Heavy Duty Super Colliding Super Button.
Now we wait for it to come back. Now we have to wait for the button to pop up.
Perfect. Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
Keep forgetting which button is mapped to let go, and other game I'm playing pickup is a space, so keeps it hitting that. Okie doke. Another simple test. I mean, these are very basic, displaying very basic skills in the game. So I mean, these aren't really big puzzles. But it's a really good way of introducing players into the different mechanics. I think that
you're doing very well. Please be advised that a noticeable taste of blood is not part of any test protocol, but is an unintended side effect of the Aperture Science Material Emancipation Grip, which may, in semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings, crowns, tooth enamel, and teeth.
Very good. These little details are very good about describing an environment. By this point, most players are sort of starting to get the idea that this is a little weirder than they expect. Not just on a puzzle perspective, but just in general.
Very good. You are now in possession of the Aperture Science handheld portal device. With it, you can create your own portals. These intradimensional gates have proven to be completely safe. The device, however, has not. Do not touch the operational end of the device. Do not look directly at the operational end of the device. Do not submerge the device in liquid, even partially. Most importantly, under no circumstances should you...
Of course, we have to do this because it's kind of required the sort of infinite regress of the game. Chase yourself around. Play with the dimensions of it. Come on. There we go. Oh, the game is a bit loud. I'll adjust that real quick. Okay, let's test this out and see if this is okay. Thank you for the note, Rachel.
Please proceed to the chamber lock. Mind the gap.
One thing to remember, your players will always do something you don't expect.
To ensure the safe performance of all authorized activities, do not destroy vital testing apparatus.
So that's always fun. Good to remember. Okay, cool. If there are any more issues with sound, please let me know. And of course, this is the part where it's teaching you that not to think of portals as just one way, but both ways, because you created a portal to pass through to here, but this portal's already here, so you create a portal to come out of. Seems like a very simple little concept.
Well done. Remember, the Aperture Science Bring Your Daughter to Work Day is the perfect time to have her tested.
Exactly. It's a simple thing. It seems like a very simple thing to point out, but sometimes, different players make different assumptions. Okey-doke.
Welcome to Test Chamber 4. You're doing quite well.
You don't do a lot of visual aids in tabletop role-playing, but if you want, you can add those, especially if you're in an in-person game or have a lot of good graphics knowledge. This game uses iconography very well. Just kind of get some ideas across, and sort of once again, and you can see the little ones here. They wouldn't have to make them grayed out, but by showing them there, you do have you get sort of a preview of what's going to come ahead. Okie dokie, get that one. So, another thing in terms of just there being multiple ways to do things. I'm sorry, love. That's Ellery, my lovely and amazing wife, and this game makes her sick. But basically, you need to get the box from there up to here. And my first time is I just jumped down, created a portal, and then brought it through. But you can also do things like this. Let's see if we can get straight. Ah. Didn't fall quite right this time. Ah! Check that out. I fell right through it. The cake, Junie, is in fact a lie. But I mean, not only you can take yourself through, you can just drop things through as well. Oh, I think I just got hurt by dropping this on my head.
Once again, excellent work. As part of our required test protocol, we will not monitor the next test chamber. You will be entirely on your own. Good luck.
Okie doke. And now we go into the next test chamber. Wait, no, I just came in. I'm going in the wrong direction. Yeah, I agree. Cake should never be a lie. I mean, cake is one of those things that one of the best things in life. Up there with driving your enemies in front of you and hearing the lamentations of their women. That's a reference if you didn't get that part. Yeah, things move very quickly, and that's there's a meta message here that know your players, know what things are going to work for them or not. For instance, I don't ask Ellery to hang out and watch me play video games usually when I'm playing something like Portal. The whole visually induced motion sickness. At the same way, Ellery is not very much a math person, so I would not, put her in a lot of situations in an RPG game in which she would have to do lots of math to figure out what was going on. Or I would allow there being some way of her, to be able to do that as a character if she wanted to, as opposed to requiring a player, like making a character. Hello, Gondor. But yeah, this is making a character that can do things that you can't. Okay, here we are on number 5. Okay, gotta go up there. That's pretty much the only place we can go. Why am I having so much issues today? It's because I'm not used to these controls. But now I want to go over there. So you can see the infinite regress, which is always fun. Da, 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 da. And so we grab that. And then we're down here again. So this is a little better example of what I was trying to do. Ah! This falls right through by itself. I don't even have to go through the portal. I swear I will get these controls at some point.
As part of a required test protocol, our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was an outright fabrication. Good job. As part of a required test protocol, we will stop enhancing the truth in 3, 2,
Oh yeah, Ellery. Yeah, I mean, Ellery is very good at patterns, but not math specifically, so I wouldn't, do that. But yeah, we got a chance to test into ages actually before it came out, because Cyan specifically wanted to see people playing it in tandem, because if I remember, it was Ubisoft. Ubisoft hadn't seen people really do that, and we had mentioned several times, in various forums and such, that we often sit down and work on these sort of games together, and we make a pretty good team. I'm much more of mathematical than she is. Ellery is much more spatial than I am. So we complement each other's each other's strengths and weaknesses. This can be good for your character team as well. If you want to make sure that your group of characters is fairly competent, and you're going to be throwing a lot of different things at them, you want to make sure that your characters have a wide degree of skills. And very often, what it comes down to is what are their peak skill. In Unwritten, it comes down to what's their peak skill. When you create your skills in Unwritten, you have one great, 2 good, 3 fair, 4 adequate. So there's a little bit of a pyramid there. That great skill is your apex skill because it's the top of the pyramid. And often that's the thing that defines sort of your role. Not always, but often your sort of role in the group. So you want to if you want to make sure that the player group has a wide variety of things that they can tackle, you want to make sure that the characters have different apex skills. If there are some that have the same apex skill, you want to make sure that there is something that differentiates that character from the other one. So if you've got 2 people with research as apex skills, you'll probably want to determine what makes one person special as a
While
researcher.
safety is one of many Enrichment Center goals, the Aperture Science high-energy pellet seen to the left of the chamber can and has caused unbelievable. You,
Subject name here.
must be the pride of.
Subject hometown here.
There you go. My hometown hometown here is really proud. So here we're slowly adding new things into the puzzles. And if you're doing puzzles in a role-playing game, that's very often a good thing to do, because it gives players to get a idea of where you're going and to get themselves accustomed to it. Heck, I'm going through this pretty quick, so I might actually get relatively far. course, I know for a fact that the difficulty on the puzzles ramps up very significantly at a point later in the game.
Warning devices are required on all mobile equipment. However, alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate the high-energy pellet and have therefore been disabled for your safety.
That sort of dry thing. I mean, if you like this sort of humor, if you want to look at things in the role-playing space, there's a game called Paranoia. It's been around for a very long time, a tabletop role-playing game, and it very much has this same sort of humor, except a bit even more extreme in places. It's sort of a post-apocalyptic dystopia, in which the computer, which is a character,
Good.
runs
Now
everything.
use the Aperture Science unstationary scaffold to reach the chamber lock.
And it's a very goofy game. Oh. I went through too quickly. You know a game's pretty goofy when it describes, it defines one of its skills, which in this case is the skill chutzpah, as the ability to kill your parents and then throw yourself on the mercy of the court because you're an orphan. Anyways. Okay. I apologize if I'm talking a little bit quickly today. I seem to be a little over-caffeinated. Okie doke. Gondar points out that that test is really good because it teaches you the metal panels that you can't put portals on. And it's a very good way to tell players that they can't do X so they don't bang their heads on drawing. Absolutely, I agree. If you can get that across in a way that makes
Please
sense,
note that we have added a consequence for failure. Any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. Good luck.
well, I don't want a bad mark on my record. But yeah, absolutely. It's that if you can get that across in, a way that makes sense to the players. Okay, this is one that requires a little bit of chicanery here, and a little bit of timing. So now it will bounce through here, go back through the portal I can't control, but come out there. Ta-da! Now to get over there, I need to use the portal I have. And I wait for my right. But yeah, now, one thing is that if your players are just not gating something, and your subtle hints are not working, that sort of thing, you should feel free to just tell them. You might want to, if you want, them to put some work into it, you could, maybe put some rolls behind
Very
it,
impressive. Please
or something
note
like that.
any appearance of danger is merely a device to enhance your testing experience.
Yeah, I'm enhanced. But you might just want to tell them. You might want to make them make a roll. So it's an important decision at that point for you as a GM to say, do you want them banging their head? Is it important for the players to figure it out themselves? And if not for the players themselves, is it important to at least indicate that the characters figured it out for themselves? Which you can do either just by saying, you are a linguist, so you would know X, or have them make a skill roll. Do a skill roll. Okay, you figured this out. I've of the opinion that you should never really frustrate a player, unless there's a reason for it. Okay, here we are in the next test.
The Enrichment Center regrets to inform you that this next test is impossible.
Oh,
Make no attempt to
never mind.
solve it.
A lot of people at this point often will notice that they've got 9 out of 19 done, and they're like, wow, I've been going through this really quick. I'm pretty cool. It's good to give people, kind of a boost of confidence there. but they also are like, wow, I'm going to get through this really quick. This is a short game. And of course, it is
The
not as short as
Enrichment
we thought.
Center apologizes for this clearly broken test chamber.
Okay, let's go. Go through here. And since we can't shoot through here,
the Enrichment Center offers its most sincere apologies on the occasion of this unsolvable test environment.
we can shoot through here, however.
Fantastic. You remain resolute and resourceful in an atmosphere of extreme pessimism.
You cannot overcome my optimism. But I think it's interesting to start talking about here is the idea that, we have a character who is sort of our narrator. We've got GLaDOS sort of narrating things, but she's an unreliable narrator. And then, it can't. One option for your game, your RPG, is to have an NPC or some other mechanism for people to get a lot of information about things. Whether it be an NPC who can explain things, or some.
Hello again. To reiterate, momentum.
If you didn't see what I did, I just dropped through that, and then came through this and kept falling, but the momentum tossed me forward. Okie doke. And now we have another portal and a higher drop, and it sends me further forward.
You appear to understand how a portal affects forward momentum, or to be more precise, how it does not.
But I mean, GLaDOS is, telling you things and directing, here, and it becomes obvious at this point that she's not particularly a reliable source. And you can have, something, like, whether it be, like an NPC or some, key device that has a lot of information on it, or, a computer buddy or whatever.
Momentum, a function of mass and velocity, is conserved between portals. In layman's terms, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
That can be useful. But there is also this section that, oh, I didn't do that well enough. I hit the thing here. There we go. Players very often will, by default, trust what they're told by NPCs, unless they have a reason to otherwise, which is generally how we do things in life. And you, as a GM, can play with that, is the fact that you can have players who are actively lying to your characters. Or you could have, some sort of, key scanner that is, not working properly. So it's when scanning things, it's giving incorrect information. These are all fine because, these are in-world things and their reasons, but you need to be able to provide a way that that players can tell. Otherwise, they're going to feel cheated, because remember that as a GM running NPCs, the NPCs can lie to the characters, but the GM should never lie to the characters. The GM is...
The Enrichment Center promises to always provide a safe testing environment. In dangerous testing environments, the Enrichment Center promises to always provide useful advice. For instance, the floor here will kill you. Try to avoid it.
This is important advice, and as a GM, you should generally give them that sort of advice too. Don't do that. That'll kill you. some GMs will be just sort of, like, well, if the players do something stupid, and, something obviously, fatal, then they should just die. And I mean, that's one thing, but I'm of the opinion that, if you're not playing a character who is, just not paying attention or whatever, and that's their thing, that generally you should let the players know more than their characters do. And then the players should be able to make some decisions off of that. Okay, so I've got the rotating portals here. And then we have this button, which opens that. You hear the ticking, so it's obviously timed. There's not really much else to go, so you can shoot through there. And now I can get through there. And it shoots these little things through here. I want to send that over there. And it goes through, and poof! That starts this. And then, when it comes to the right place, I can go through. Look, it's the right place.
The device has been modified so that it can now manufacture 2 linked portals at once. As part of an optional test protocol, we are pleased to present an amusing fact. The device is now more valuable than the organs and combined incomes of everyone in.
Subject hometown here.
See, there's another side thing if you ever do horror games. The best way to make players uneasy is to refer to their characters' organs. Or refer to organs in general. That'll just freak players out. Okie doke. So I can do both portals now. Now, being a long time since I've played this game, I'm going to mess up those portals over and over, so be aware of that. Now, we're thinking with portals. And of course, now we have to do the other requisite thing. By the way, if you get motion sick, this is a part where you'll get very motion sick if you watch. You've been warned. Oh, just a little bit off. It's amazing how that makes a difference. Little bits make a big difference later on. Come on. There we go. Oh, sorry, it's a sec. I hit the wrong button real quick and muted things. There we go. Okay, now we're to the next section. Number 12 out of 19. We're speeding right along.
Get ready to fling yourself. Fling into space.
That's easy for you to say. Once again. So this. Shh. There's a lot of flinging around in this, so that is one of those things that, Oh, I missed. I should probably just reposition it better. That shoots me over there. This is something I really like about this game, is that there are a lot of mechanisms, that could, that pop out, and they from a gameplay perspective, they only actually turn on when you look at them. Like that panel won't come up until you turn around and you look at it, so you can see it actually happening. Which makes the play much easier, just in case you might have missed it or something. But it's a good principle, I think, in general, that if something is important, just make sure that your players have a chance to see it. Whoosh. Okay. Now you go pick up this. Jump over there. Hopefully people are not getting too nauseous. If you are, then I can even play a different game or something. But that over here. Once again, that bodes. Okie doke. Number 13.
Now that you are in control of both portals, this next test could take a very, very long time. If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An intubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline.
Unfortunately, I don't have any peptic salve or adrenaline to offer you. But yeah, if this does become, too, much of an issue for anyone, let me know and I will switch games. I have no problems with that. Okay, then we come into this next group. We have 2 buttons that will need to be pushed at the same time. We have a box there. Okay, just double checking, because there's no reason for me to do something that makes people really sick. So, set it up so the portal, the pellet goes through there, it comes down there. This is a great game for lateral thinking skills, because you have to think about things moving in different dimensions simultaneously. Since I can't go here, I have to do something there. But I gotta get those up there. Did I hit it right? There we go. Now, of course, I need 2. I don't have 2 here, but I have 1 back there, so it does keep the door open. So I can hop through here and then pick this up. Of course, that'll close the door. However, I just make sure I leave an opening there. Okay, good. I'm glad that's not bothering you, Liv. Okay, here we go. Also a very good example of how many different things you can do with a single set of small mechanics. They really, in this game, they really kind of, find lots of interesting ways to force you to use the portal mechanics in unexpected ways. Okay, now I gotta get up there. Now you could, drop there and go right that over and jump over, which is the first time I actually played this game. That's what I did. There's an easier way, though. Just put that up there. And do that.
For your own safety, do not destroy vital testing apparatus. As part of a previously mentioned required test protocol, we can no longer lie to you. When the testing is over, you will be missed.
Missed in quotes. Ha 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 ha. We can be missed. I'm always missed. But once again, kind of highlighting the fact that, GLaDOS is not necessarily a trustworthy character. So test 14.
All subjects intending to handle high-energy gamma-leaking portal technology must be informed that they may be informed of applicable regulatory compliance issues. No further compliance information is required or will be provided, and you are an excellent test subject.
As someone who works in a government-regulated industry, that particular set of statements really resonates. Okay, test 14. Now, there's something I kind of want to demonstrate here. Oh God, this would be... I don't know if this would be awesome in VR or just, like just the epitome of gut-wrenching terror in AR. In VR. Why did I say AR? Okay, so this puzzle has several steps. You're trying to get out over here. You've got this, energy pellet receiver here. There's a box over there. The box takes you into, there's a button there which will take you into another side area where there's a, pellet shooter, which then you've got to get the energy pellet from there. Into here, have it drop down there, which turns this on. All great, right? Turns out, in the category of things that you're... Oop, I didn't do that as well. In the category of things that players will do things you don't expect, there's actually a commentary track for this game. And one of the things they talk about is that their testers and focus players kept finding answers to things, answers to their puzzles that they were not expecting. And at first they tried to go, it's like, okay, well, let's fix the puzzle so they can't do this, because they're missing the point and that sort of thing. But then at some point they decided, well, maybe, we should just let people quote unquote get away with it. Because, it's a game about figuring out clever puzzles, and, if you find a clever solution, then why not? So, this is one of the ones that they mention. So, you see here, if I go through one of these portals, I'm going to come out the other one, right? Okay, here's another thing that if you watch will make you dizzy, or if you are prone to it, will probably make you dizzy and or sick. But so I fall through, and see how I just kind of keep falling back and forth here? I didn't do it right. If you fall back and forth through here, right, you can just get enough momentum to just go right up there. I've done it once, I swear I have. Or actually, that's what it was. Might just be easier to get myself some actual momentum. Oh, of course. Here I am, trying to show you how tricky I am, and totally messing it up. Okay, let's do this again. Go down here. I should have learned by now that if there's anything that will make me humble, it's trying to actually intentionally be tricky and like show something off, because I usually mess that up. That's a great aspect, by the way. Something about trying to show off, but likes to show off, but always makes a problem. So there's one of my aspects. But ta-da! Oh, no! Frick! See? See what I'm doing to myself? I'm gonna get it done, though. That's it. I just gotta figure out which direction I want to go. That's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. There we go. So I've bypassed pretty much the entirety of the puzzle. Your players will do this. Expect it, and if you really want to go through a puzzle, if you really want to go through that puzzle, bring it up later again. Don't force him to go through it again. To try, don't say, "Oh no, you can't do that." And especially, I think it's important in Unwritten as a game, since it's a game about exploration and discovery. Reward creativity.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test. Thank you for helping us help you help us all.
Grief counseling is another thing you can also, bring up a lot. That gives players an idea that the game is probably not very nice. Okay. If you didn't see what I did there, is I put a portal up high, and then one up down low, walked through it, and whether it's falling, I created a portal below me so that I fell through it even further, another turn around, which gave me more momentum and flung me through across more. This one gets used several times in some of these things. Okay. This puzzle's interesting, because you've got this there. But you want to get it up there. You can't shoot across these things. And when you go across, your portals disappear. So this is one that requires some planning and some timing. And let's see if I can do it right. That gets it over there. There we go. Lateral thinking. At first time I played it, took me quite a long time to figure out. Anybody have any questions or they want to ask or topics they want to talk about or want me to talk about while I'm doing some of this stuff? Because, you know me, I can just keep talking and talking and talking. But yeah. I need to go up there. I need to do the double jump. The double fall. And works much better if you choose the right portal. If you have a player who's just having horrible rolls and that sort of thing, like this, or just, and it's not really, and it's not really like interesting, that the fact that, it causes interesting effects when they fail, just don't, just allow them to succeed. Don't, sometimes role players are kind of act like they're slaves to the dice. In that, it's like, oh, well, you rolled bad, nothing can be done about it. Like, no. Especially with Unwritten and narrative games, it's making a good narrative that matters, not necessarily, adherence to every little detail of the mechanics. And Chris, I have not played the Talos Principle, which is odd. I probably should have. I sometimes have some really odd holes in my repertoire of things. Okay, let's see if I can do this right. Oh, not quite. This is the place where, gaming reflexes come in handy, and I'm not always the best at that. Oh, almost. Nah, I'm shooting too late. As someone who watches Twitch streams, I always kind of wonder, how I'm very tolerant of people screwing up. But I always wonder how tolerant people watching Twitch streams are of people making silly mistakes. I know that sometimes like watching people try to figure out puzzles, and they're just missing the obvious thing, or missing I'm just like, God, just turn left. So, I don't know if that's part of the fun as the watcher of a stream or not. And I say that. Okay, I need to stop talking for a moment because I need to actually focus a little bit here to get this right. There we go. I mean, yeah, it is nice to see people make mistakes. I mean, in general, just because, it's, to realize that, not everybody, that flaws are okay. Okay, but yeah, I think sometimes in gaming there's this sort of, pride in I got it right the first time, or I got it right without a walkthrough, or check out my elite, Twitch speed gaming, reflexes sort of thing. And I think that's a detriment to the hobby in general. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, none of this get good drama here. I mean, there is a certain amount of, I don't learn how to play the game, but, people have different levels. I mean, this is also the discussion that's happening in a lot of games right now about accessibility. I mean, it should have been happening, a long time ago, really. But there we go. About making games so that more people can play them, not just based off of their skill, their inherent skill. Now, this is a puzzle game, and so there's a certain amount of okay, I need to be able to do these puzzles. I need to I need to swing around. But at least putting some thought into ways that can make so that your game can be played by more people. The accessibility is important for tabletop role-playing games as well. The issues are different. And so, it can be anything from, making, if you're creating a document, making it amenable to screen readers, not choosing fonts that are hard to read, which I'm not a good example of because I use several handwriting fonts and written for the initial stuff that's hard to read because, unfortunately, handwriting fonts seem to be universally hard to read. But, there's just thoughts that you need to put into them. The people who make Fate, the Evil Hat is the company that makes Fate, they actually have a book on accessibility in gaming. So I really, if you're doing any sort of game development, I highly, highly suggest that. This is another of the weird ones because you kind of have to get through this little tunnel here, but it's all going the wrong way. But if you're thinking with portals, unfortunately, now I'm talking, I forgot the name. Gondar, the name of the book it's the Fate Accessibility Kit. Actually, I should probably make that one higher. That'll be easier. Now I can, since it's in there, I can just ride this back to the same place and check it, and then just go there as well. My first time, I thought I had to figure out something right there. It's like, oh, I'll shoot that over there, and then I'll shoot another thing on the side and jump over from one platform to, and it's really not that interesting. No, I effed it up. Blue is over there. I need to shoot orange. See, I told you I would. And now I can just ride back, or I can do something like, this. Okay, so this leads to another puzzle. And this one I think actually will take some timing. Yeah. Luckily, many of the things that I mess up seem to be good for comedy, if nothing else. So, hey. Okay, so what have we got here? So we've got the pellet thing down there. And we've got a door we've got here, and we've got the receiver, and we've actually got 2 doors here. So this button is timed, and opens door number 2. And there's another button on the other side, which opens door number 1. So this is all about timing. Let's see, I gotta see if we can get this right here. And no, I've got my timing off. Okay. And you get, actually, let's just do it this way. We'll get the doors in place first. Oh! I walked in, I didn't have my portal in the right place, so I got myself shot. Because of that. There you go. Yep. Yep. Add that to the blooper reel. The fact that I haven't done more of those sort of errors already means I'm having a good day. Ah! See what I did there? I can't go over there because they'll kill me again, so I gotta wait till, you know. Put some place over there. Probably just should set it up right away. Put it right there. Oh, once again, choosing the wrong portals. See? Now that probably is much easier.
Did you know
There we go.
you can donate one or all of your vital organs to the Aperture Science Self-Esteem Fund for Girls? It's true.
Letting your players experiment and try to get things right is always a good idea. That's pretty much the only way I get through video games like this. Is, you know, when I'm not working with Ellery on a puzzle, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and then you know, I fall off things, and you know, I try different combinations until I figure something out.
Due to mandatory scheduled maintenance, the appropriate chamber for this testing sequence is currently unavailable. It has been replaced with a live fire course designed for military androids. The Enrichment Center apologizes for the inconvenience and wishes you the best of luck.
I actually like this one a lot, even though it's a pretty tense one because of all the different options you have. See, it sees me and tries to shoot. But I can't. But also, once again, you know, this is a good example of showing, you know, the danger of the situation without automatically just getting people into situations where they're you know, get killed. You know, a way to show and to communicate things without causing, you know, automatic failures. Now, these little guys are great because you can pick them up. Now, a lot of people...
Searching. Sleep mode activated.
I love the voices on these two.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. A lot of people try to get them to shoot each other. That never works. I love theirs. It's like, oh, hey, it's me. But
Put me down.
these guys are. Oh, yep, and there's my blood. Just so you know. These guys are easy to get rid of in this way because they're not very stable. Oh, that was not the right one.
Critical error.
Your internet went poof. Uh-oh. So, once again, I forget the controls. But I need to think with... You could probably, you know, run from there to there, but... This is a game about thinking with portals. So let's think with portals.
Who's there? Searching.
See? So the portal behind them.
Who are you? Are you there?
I am forgetting my keybinds here.
Shutting down.
Hi. There's another one.
Deploying.
Oh, I hit the wrong one.
Anyone there? Target lost.
See? And now, just go ahead and drop down.
Nap time.
Oh, wow! This is the first time I've ever fell directly on
Searching.
top of it. That was cool.
Who's there? Please put me down.
Or you could do something,
Are you still there?
like... See where it flew up there. Ah! There are lots of ways to disable these guys. This we have two things, two guys in each direction. And I'm kind of going to a dangerous place here. I want to show you there are X's up there, which kind of give you the clue. This is also the place where we begin to see some more definitive story. Ah, guys, shut up. Because there's help there. Control crouch. And we're getting a little bit behind the scenes, literally. And we see that someone has been here. So Junie, like you said, the cake is a lie. And you know this is ominous because you can hear the theme music. Someone's been here for a long time. You can actually kind of, move around a bit in here. You see back here, we got, Aperture Science milk, Aperture Science cans of beans, Aperture Science, jugs of water. Just getting moved around. See, someone's been making food here. And of course, the important bucket in the corner. Control. Exactly. Like the Junie, it looks like a prison cell. You are not the first person to come this way. Oh, stop that. Oh, that's because I was futzing before. I choose. Can you come over here? Oh, not there yet. Orange over here. This is another, interesting way you can just drop things on them. I don't blame you. I love these guys just because of their reactions. Oh, come on. Okay, let me grab another here. Another important thing that you can do is that you can block shots with these as well. It's not as useful here, but well, I just wanted to show you. Okay. Oh, I screwed up again. Ah! Damn it. Killed. Yes. Let me be less a problem with this. Handle my control a little better. This, of course, gets you behind both of them.
Hey. Hello. Don't shoot. No heart, no function. Critical error.
And over here, we've got another bunch of guys waiting around for you that'll shoot you, and a lot of cubes that have been dropped around here. Some tools too, you know. So I can get the timing on this right. He's shooting from over there, if you can see me, but... So, while I've been doing this, and once again, you know, if you have things you want to talk about, or questions you want to ask, or, you know, things you want to even, you know, just things you want to share from your day, feel free.
Hello.
Oh, I forgot about that dude. Please do. Okay, so I've already got that there, so I'm just gonna... No, they don't hate me, that's good.
There you are. Are you still there?
Oh, but that's part theirs.
Would you come over? Deploying. Target lost. Still there?
Ah, I did it again. Okay.
Activated. Searching. Shutting down.
Yes, it is very disorienting to have a little childlike voice on something trying to kill you. This game is very much focused on making you disconcerted. Now, that's not necessarily something that you want to do in an unwritten game, but you could definitely do an unwritten game where there was something, you know, with some surreal or horror elements to it. I'm not particularly much of a horror person, but, you know, some people are. Okay, so
Who's there?
we've got another one of the turrets in there, but it's behind a mesh.
Activated.
Oh, damn it. I didn't shoot it far enough.
Hibernating. Is anyone there?
Let's do this.
Deploying. No hard feelings.
This is, this particular Chris, this particular episode is mostly going to be about Portal, just because I'm, you know, running through and just kind of using it as, once again, as inspiration. Next week, we're going to be starting Revelation. Mostly I've been doing missed games, but I occasionally will take a break between some of the games with something, you know, new or different, just to kind of, you know, clean the palette and show that you can, in fact, you know, get lots of inspiration for unwritten games or any role-playing games, you know, from different places. So, if you're not much of a Portal person, yeah, I can see you being kind of bored. Oh, now I need to get over there. Of course, there's only about a half hour more of this stream. Oh, hey, dude. Oh, it's not going to let me do it then. So I do it up there. Yeah.
Malfunction. Why?
Hi. Yeah,
Well
just...
done, Android. The Enrichment Center once again reminds you that Android Hell is a real place where you will be sent at the first sign of defiance.
You know, and once again, if people are kind of bored of this, I can shift over. Or if you have topics that you want to talk about, I can talk about that while doing this or doing something else. That's the cool thing about Twitch streaming stuff is that, you know, it's really pretty interactive, or can be. Okay, here we have another one.
The vital apparatus vent will deliver a weighted companion cube in 3, 2, 1.
The weighted companion cube with the hearts and everything.
This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it.
The weighted companion cube, of course, was the star of the game when it came out. Everyone loved them, and there were plushy weighted companion cubes and all kinds of stuff. The story that I heard from, if I remember correctly, from the commentary track, which it's been a long time since I've watched it, is that originally this didn't have little hearts on it, and they didn't make a big deal about it. They just said, you know, here's your cube. Well, you'll need it lots of places. And what happened is that lots of people, lots of testers, and then became very possessive of this cube as they carried it through things, you know, and they're like, oh, I need, not just, I need that. They're like, dude, here's my cube. And they'd say, oh, here's my cube. This is my pet cube. Isn't he cute? I was like, okay, pet cube, I won't forget you, that sort of thing.
The symptoms most commonly produced by enrichment center testing are superstition, perceiving inanimate objects as alive, and hallucinations. The enrichment center reminds you that the weighted companion cube will never threaten to stab you and, in fact, cannot speak.
So, as they made the game, they decided to just go ahead and lean into it. So they made it kind of part of the story, and they put hearts on it, and GLaDOS talks about it. I've been using it to just kind of deflect these little things, but I'm actually getting really far because I'm moving pretty quick. Okie doke. Gets us through those chambers. And now we have another bit of story here. Here we have someone's been living here for a while, and their shrine to their beloved companion cube. And we got the girls of Aperture Science with the companion cube, for September. More companion cube pictures. This is like me in No Man's Sky. I just take pictures all the time. The head replaced, hearts, and not in cruelty, not in wrath. The Reaper came today. An angel visited this gray path and took the cube away. So yeah, someone's definitely not playing with a full deck there. Okay, so this puzzle actually has several different parts. There are 3 platforms which are connected to these various things here. The first one is, of course, that we need to get a pellet there, and we've got those up here, back there. So. And so, of course, the little light gives you an idea of where things go, and this looks like a ricochet. So we'll try this. I forget which one I did. Probably was the other one, probably. Yep. Okay, that gets us number 1, I think. Okay, and then here's... Oh, So this is kind of an interesting little puzzle here. Is that we've got this door, which is connected to the button, which has another door connected to a button, and then the catcher is on the other side of both doors. So we've got to get both doors open while it goes through, but we only have the one cube. Okay, but I do need to bring... I'm gonna need to bring the bullet with me once again. If I remember correctly, this one turns off now. If not, I'm about to die. Oh. I don't remember where I put the blue cube, so the blue portal, so we'll see what happens. Oh, it's right there. That's not where I want it. Because it would try to kill me, so I don't like being killed. Even though it doesn't seem to do much in this particular game. Oh! Damn it. I thought I'd get through there in time. Portals are all in the same place, so... It's gonna bounce off that door, so that gives me more time. So here's the tricky part. This one's all timing. Come through...
The Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube cannot speak. In the event that the weighted companion cube does speak, the Enrichment Center urges you to disregard its advice.
True. The companion cube is not a very good person to go to advice for. Uh-huh. So we've got the second one up there, and then there's a third panel lift that we need to get, which is connected to here. Which you've got, you know... We've got a pedal thing there, I mean a pellet thing that shoots there, but the catcher's there. And we can't use any portals in here. Luckily, we have our handy dandy companion cube. Oh, not the right angle. There we go. Okay, now we gotta go to our platforms here. We can't forget the cube. There's a little platforming here. Jump. Oh! Missed it. Cube is still there. I mean, that's what really matters, right? As you can tell, not the best platformer around. Okay, and let's go around this way. Okay. And we've got
You
this
did
here.
it. The weighted companion cube certainly brought you good luck.
A companion cube.
However, it cannot accompany you for the rest of the test and, unfortunately, must be euthanized. Please escort your companion cube to the Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator.
It is, in fact, an actual incinerator. So you gotta take your buddy, the companion cube, who has helped you so much, and you have to kill them for your so that you can make your own progress through. So.
Rest assured that an independent panel of ethicists has absolved the Enrichment Center, Aperture Science employees, and all test subjects of any moral responsibility for the companion cube euthanizing process.
That is my favorite line in the entire game. Is that just the image of a bunch of ethicists around a table, how can we make certain that no one feels bad about this, and that no one can
While it has been a faithful companion, your companion cube cannot accompany you through the rest of the test. If it could talk, and the Enrichment Center takes this opportunity to remind you that it cannot, it would tell you to go on without it because it would rather die in a fire than become a burden to you.
It's such a giver. Go. This is a lot easier when you have the controls better set up. Oh.
Testing cannot continue until your companion cube has been incinerated.
Kind of wonder what happens if you just leave it for a while. What, it just loops or whatever. But let's see if I.
Although the euthanizing process is remarkably painful, 8 out of 10 Aperture Science engineers, you euthanized your faithful companion cube more quickly than any test subject on record. Congratulations.
I love that little dig, You have no empathy. You killed your companion cube. One of my favorite things when I'm watching people do playthroughs is to watch this section to see how they react to that. There are a lot of people who are just like, oh, well, I guess I have to kill it. Bye. Thank you. And then there's some people who get really, really upset.
The experiment is nearing its conclusion. The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
I'll be baked, and then cake? Okay. This is another level where there's a lot of, jumping around and weird stuff like that, so, keep track of your dizziness. And we've got a little bit behind the scenes here. There's not much here. You just get to see a bit more of what's, what everything looks like. Someone has been shoving things around. Here... God, this is kind of a weird one. The best way I found out to do it is you put one up there, but then you can't put the other ones around here anywhere. So you actually have to get it over to there. And oh, almost fell too. Okie doke. Let's just get over there. There's a door. It's got. There's a button over there. This hopefully means that there's a box over there as well. We'll do our little, let's see, fling thing. Oh, I forgot about this part. This just leads to a very long puzzle. To get our cube so we can go back there. There's all sorts of things going on here. Ah! Okay. See if I got this right. Ah, missed. Shoots through there. No, I'm just not getting it lined up right. What I'm trying to do is get the pellet to knock these guys off for me. No, that's just, am I just way too far over? Let's try it. Ah, food. Oh, I'm doing this wrong, so. Oh, got it completely wrong, didn't I? My aim sucks. Ah, there we go. Oh, my aim skipped there for a second. Aw, man. Let's see if that's aims properly. Nailed him. Awesome. There we go. Okay. So the next thing is I need to get that pellet into there. This door is here. But there's a button up there, but how do we get to it? We get to it like this. Oh, I need to be closer. Okay. I forget exactly. I need to do a little bit of jumping here. Jumping through that. No. A little higher, maybe. Oh, almost. Oh, and I go past it. Great. Okay, there we go. So, this button opens that. I need to get it over there. But I can't actually see the side from here. And that's part of the point. So I think I'm going to have to time this. Okay, first of all, let's make sure there's not a portal behind me for everything. I hit the wrong portal. I did it again. Where is the blue portal? Oh. Okay, let's see if I can get this. So, this is the sort of thing that you don't do to your players in an unwritten game. Because this is frustrating and annoying. Not sure you should do it to your streamers who are watching you either, honestly. But... okay, orange. Wait, there's another... dude, oh. Yeah. I think you've got something there. Okay, got him, finally. Now I feel better. No, I understand. I understand. Okay. Okie doke. That we do have that one, so I need to shoot just the blue. Oh. Oh, if you open the door and you jump in, there's an Easter egg? It's interesting where Easter eggs end up. I mean, someone at some point's like, let's put something weird in here. I wonder if it's just like, you know, we need to put something somewhere, or somebody's like, dude, you know, this one tester got stuck in there one time, and, you know, I don't know how he did it, but he did. I knew a friend in college who, she was very good about finding errors that no one else could reproduce. Just, you know, she would try things that no one else would, and that sort of thing. So, one of my friends put an error message in one of his programs that said, you know, hi Cheryl, I see you made it here. In some place that, you know, should never actually ever, like, have occurred. Sure enough, about a week later, she comes storming in and says, that's really funny, Jeff. Oh, I'm gonna try this, you know, one or two more times, and then if I continue to have issues, I will do something else, so you guys don't have to, you know, watch me attempt the same actions over and over. One more real try. So I think it's a good time to stop the game. I was actually kind of hoping to get you guys to the end of the tests because I'd been going so fast. That doesn't seem to be in the cards because my platform foo seems to be... Wait. Okay, that's funny. Okie doke. Puts me right up there. So we'll try again. Okay, that shoots through there. That does go through there as expected. Gosh dang it. Nah, no, it's not in the cards today. Sorry, guys. But so I may end up a little early here. Unless if you guys have any questions or things that you want to talk about. For instance, I know Rachel, if you're still listening there, and not bored off your bored, so completely bored that you're not listening.
Certain objects may be vital to your success. Do not destroy testing apparatus.
Rachel, I remember you were working on a Cortex game, and so if you've got something, any interesting news on that, or any interesting, insights that has brought your way, feel free to share with the class. And Gondar, thanks for showing up. It's not very much missed content today, but I'm glad that you could be here. And next Tuesday, I will be starting Revelation, so that's definitely missed content, and we can discuss. Oh yes, thank you for the reminder. Ellery is doing an art class for a mini book for creating mini books, and that was going to be previously, but it got rescheduled to this Friday. So if you're interested in that, please go to ellerymakesstuff.com and find the information there. I think that's correct. Okay, so Rachel, give us a quick update on if you don't mind, on how that Cortex game development is going. I'll give Rachel a chance to respond here, and the stream to catch up and everything. So Rachel, you said you ended up splitting them back into two games again, one based on Pokemon, one based on Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. So you just couldn't get them to work together properly? Is that what was going on? Oh! On a complete aside, I managed to bounce things around unintentionally and take a energy pellet right to the face. Huh. It's interesting that that's the reset. But definitely, Rachel, hopefully you were typing it. Oh. Rachel says, kinda, I felt like I was compromising too much from either source. And that's a perfectly valid thing to look at. Sometimes you look at your writing and you're going, I'm trying too hard here, or it's just not working. Or you have some specific idea you're trying to pull off and it's just not fitting with what you're doing. So taking a step back and going, okay, this is just not working, not what I want, and then we'll do it differently. That's part of the game development, and I think it's an important thing to do. So, like you said, this way they feel more like the source materials. This way you can create, you create these settings such that they give you the feel that you're looking for. So that's a really good idea. Okay, dare I try this again? Oh, not enough time. Damn it. I'm sure there's some easier way of doing that I'm not thinking of, but yeah, I think that's an important, I mean, whether that's as you're developing gaming material or you're gaming a game, you might have a great idea that if you spend too much time trying to shoehorn it in, then it's just not a good fit. And then at that time, you should just, go like, oh, well, it's just not a good fit, and maybe I need to do something else. You can always kind of, oh, look, he's dead there. You can always kind of, come back to it later. Maybe you'll have a better idea, or you can take that same idea and use it in something else. Yeah. You don't have to make everything fit. Okay, so we are near time here, and I'm not moving any farther in this game at the moment. So, we will wrap up the stream. Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. If anybody has any ideas of games you think I should play in these little in-between things, or other things that we can do, other things that we can look at, please let me know, and we'll go from there. Oh yes, Rachel, absolutely. Go ahead and share more on the Discord and the other RPGs channel. I think getting conversation started on that and people showing off the things that they've been doing is a great idea. I would definitely appreciate it, and hopefully we can get a good conversation started. So, anyways, so if you like what I'm doing, there's a Patreon there. If those people who have joined the Patreon, I thank you very much. The fact that someone seems to be interested in hearing me babble on about things while I play, computer games is, the reason I do this. It's, I still think it's kind of amazing that anybody would want to do it, but watch it. But hey. So, and, I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your critiques. I want to hear your suggestions, and whether it be via the Patreon or either the Cyan chat or the Unwritten RPG chat. Bye everyone. Thanks for coming. Shara and all that jazz.